Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed. Tonight we are talking about unboxing the power and the potential of the Black family and encouraging your children to explore their world. Stick around.
I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach, and welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed. I'm your host, Dr. Robert Davis. So glad that you've chosen to join us today. I want you to do me a quick favor as we get started. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. That's right. Like, subscribe, and share. Okay, so we've been talking about the Black family and specifically about Black children and the educational system. And one of the things that we've learned is that the education system in America has so many flaws, but especially in the way that we educate our young Black children. We've discussed the school to prison pipeline. It's a reality, and it's because our children are exposed to a failing system. So there's certain things that I said as parents we can do to take back control of our children's education, and that is to help them to begin thinking entrepreneurially. Entrepreneurial thinking is so important. The second thing was teaching our children money management. They're not going to get that at school. So we want to take it upon ourselves to teach that to our children. The third thing we learned this last night, and that is monetize your passion. Teach your children how to monetize their passion. People whose passion are video games, they're out there making millions upon millions of dollars by monetizing their passion to play video games. So yeah, that's right. Monetize your passion. And then tonight, I want to talk about something that's so important. One of the reasons why I do not subscribe to the traditional education system, and you're kind of stuck if you live here in America, your children have to go to school, and I'm cool with that. The challenge is the way that we do the education system is just so backwards. It just doesn't work to take especially young men and even more so young Black men and putting them into a classroom for 8 hours and saying, okay, you just have to sit in this chair, look forward, and regurgitate the information that we give you. And that's how you're going to spend 8 hours, 5 days a week. Wow, that is brutal and torturous. There's not a whole lot that we can do about that from one segment. So I'm going to talk about how to, adjust and to compensate for that terrible system that we have here called the American education system and its impact on Black children. And one of the things is to encourage your children to explore the world. And what I mean by that is there's two types of education. There is book and classroom education, and then there's real life education. And sometimes we put such a heavy emphasis on book and classroom education. And again, I believe in education. My wife is a doctor of speech language pathology. I'm a doctor of ministry, family life educator. I really believe in this. We push our children to have to get strong education. But there is the classroom academic education, and then there's that real world education, which comes from us exposing our children. And let me say this right here. I know how frustrating it is, especially as a single mom. Some of you who are watching this right now are working 2 jobs to try to provide for your children. And then you have this guy who it's outside of your reality coming along telling you, hey, you need to spend more time with your children, take them to museums, take them to the library, get them to see the rest of the world, make them watch videos about other countries and exploring other countries and understanding your culture and other cultures and blah, 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 blah. And I know you say, hey, that sounds nice. But when you're working 2 jobs and you come home dog tired, you barely have enough strength to even feed your children. You just kind of are at the mercy of the school, because the school not only serves as a place for education, it also serves as a babysitter for your children. Let's just call it what it is. I understand that. And I want to just say to every mother that's in that situation, every single father, every family, because sometimes it takes mother and father working 2 jobs each just to keep afloat. I get it. I understand. And what I'm sharing with you is not that I'm turning up my nose or looking down and saying, hey, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and wagging my finger in your face. What I'm really saying to you is, I get your reality. And as much as possible, when the opportunity arrives, if you see something on Netflix, if, the chance you get a day off and the chance gets there for you to catch the bus to a museum and to take them to see it, or to get them down to the library, or if they can go with some friends to the library, when opportunities arise, and I'll be honest with you, when you're conscious and you're thinking about it, you'll be surprised that even with that hectic schedule, opportunities will arise for you to be able to expose your children and to give them a chance to explore the world. On that same note about exploring the world, I want to come from another perspective as well. And that is, we have been taught for the last 500 years that we are visitors. African Americans are second-class citizens, and we're more or less visitors to this country. This is really not our country. When you go to even the closest relative's house, in your gut, this is not my house. I am just a visitor here. And so I need to walk and I need to conduct myself in such a way that I recognize and acknowledge that I'm just a visitor here. And I want to just say, this is your country. I know we're not treated like that. So explore it and feel comfortable exploring your country. Feel comfortable exploring your neighborhoods, your surrounding, your environment. You have every right to walk down the street, every right to look around every corner, every right as anyone else in this country does. And even though we don't want to get our children in a position where they can get hurt because we have a very cruel law enforcement system here in America, we also don't want to have our children afraid to explore their world. And I talked about that before when I read the story about the girl in the bank. We don't want them afraid to explore their world. So we want them to explore their world outside of traditional academic and classroom. We want them to explore their world as it relates to just the environment where they are, especially smaller children. And as our children get older, you can go anywhere, you can see anything. This is your country, this is your city, this is your neighborhood, this is your community, and you have just as much right as anybody else to really explore it and get to know it. We have to take back the education of our children. We have to make sure that they're educated in being entrepreneurs. They're educated in having multiple streams of income, educated in knowing the world, that big picture education. And I know it's rough, to take a child and stick them into a brick building and then have them to sit in that brick building for 8 hours in a chair, looking toward the front and only getting a chance to stretch your leg in between classes. I get it. It doesn't work, but we have to make the most out of it because there is no savior coming. There is no great leader that's going to lift us up out of our condition. We really have to take ownership of our own issues and our own problems in order to move to the next level. This is an African-American problem. We didn't cause the problem, but we're the only ones that's going to be able to fix it. We didn't cause the problem, but we're going to be the only ones that can fix it. It has just become painfully true that no one else is going to do it. No one else is going to step forward and address the structural issues and the structural challenges. I mean, they'll do all that little decorating. They may appoint a Black person to this office, or, they may pass some little, symbolistic legislation. But really, the structural issues that have been holding us back for hundreds of years are not going to be addressed. So we're going to have to come up with a strategy to pull ourselves up, for lack of a better term, by our own bootstraps. We can do it. We have the strength. Let's build the Black family. Listen, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. And then I'm going to look forward to seeing you again tomorrow as we continue talking about building the Black family. Until then, have a great day.
Seasoned with Grace, Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.